So a very good afternoon to everybody. I'm Isha and I'll be moderating today's session. Hi sir, it's a pleasure to connect with you virtually. I request everybody to put on their cameras and put their microphones on mute. Okay, so before we get into the session, we'll start with your introduction. So today's session is on the topic that fascinates all of us with Utpal Chakraborty, an artificial intelligence researcher with experience of more than 2 decades in this field, including as a principal architect in Larsen and Toubro, Infotech, IBM, Capgemini, and other MNCs, including heading the Artificial Intelligence Division of Yes Bank. Being a Chief Digital Officer at Allied Digital Services, he has addressed many conferences on AI, machine learning, analytics, RPA, and scientific conferences. Holding the recognition as one of the top 10 AI influencers 2021, he's also been honored as the Global AI Ambassador 2022 by Swiss Cognitive and awarded as the Technology Leader of the Year, AI and Data Science 2021. Despite his recognition as a speaker of researcher, he's also the author of Applied in Business, which will be released very soon. So we're looking forward to having a very interesting discussion on artificial intelligence. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. So am I audible well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just give me 1 second. So let me my network so that I'll be more. Give me 2 to 3 seconds.
Hello.
It was showing a little bit. So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this event. Hope I am audible now. I'm just looking for a confirmation. Is it?
We're not able to hear you properly. This network issue.
Still there is some network issue. If you feel any kind of disturbances in the line, so I'll share a small presentation which I have made for. I was just editing it for you. I hope it's visible, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So thank you again for inviting me to this event, and it's really hard to be with you all students and faculty members here. And so today I would like to discuss a little bit on how artificial intelligence is transforming different industries. And I will more focus on the banking and finance, because banking and finance is a very interesting field, but also I would like to touch upon some other industries also before we go into that. So without delaying much, quickly jump into the topic. So if you look at, like, just to give you some background, the entire industry today is actually moving from something called digitization to cognification. Okay, now digitization, all of you knows. I think all of you know pretty well. It is like, digitizing all the physical services that we have. Okay, and mostly today, if you look at anything and everything that is around us, are already been digitized, or it is on the verge of getting digitized, right? But cognification is something. This is a term you will not get in the Oxford Dictionary, but many of the experts are using this term very frequently. So cognification, even take it as the topmost layer of digitization. Okay, so wherein like we bring into some kind of a human intelligence into our digitization processes, or into our applications that we build in our digitization journey, right? So, and the enablers or the technology enablers for cognification are like technologies like AI, artificial intelligence, then big data analytics, Now it is quantum computing also, and not many other virtual reality, metaverse, and all other many technologies comes into picture. Now, because you need to understand, we are going through actually a golden era of technological revolution, right? And as you know, like any other golden era in the past, okay? So may it be like industrial revolution, then IT revolution. Okay, so these are technological eras. So it is attributed by not only one factor or one technology. Mostly what happens, it is attributed by multiple technologies or multiple factors. So the same happens here. So actually, it has been attributed by uh, many technologies, and uh, uh, the industries are getting transformed not only in terms of their products and services, but also the strategies. Okay, because what happens, like with these technologies, like for example, artificial intelligence, it is a data-driven kind of a technology. So you can bring a lot of intelligence from your data, and what you can do is essentially you can you can frame your strategies, okay, as per the decisions that are coming out from your data. Okay, so it is not on the basis of your assumption or on the basis of uh, what do you call, something which is happening now, but it is like on the basis of your past experience, which is hiding inside your data. Okay, so products, processes, strategies, everything is getting transformed in all the industries in this process. So that's why we say from digitization, we are moving towards cognition to bring that human-like intelligence into our digitization process, into our applications, and all those things. And probably you have seen it in your banking application that you are using, or any kind of mobile app that you are using, or any kind of retail or e-commerce app that you are using. So these are getting more and more intelligent. Okay, so that is the process of bringing cognification into the digitization process. Now I'll go to some, I think many of you already know this, but I'll very quickly go to some of the AI applications which is already there. So healthcare and medicine is one of the sector where AI is basically transforming, right? So starting from detecting your cancer, okay, various kind of cancers in a very early stage, okay, because if you get an image from your MRI machine or from a CT scan machine, now with an AI algorithm, you can detect the cancer or the cancerous cell or the growth in the cancerous tissues in a very early stage. Okay, and this is been possible with using some kind of computer vision technologies and some kind of simulation technologies. Okay, and you can actually see what is how the cancer is growing. Okay, and probably you can also predict in another 3 years, 4 years, what is the kind of shape the cancerous cell will take, whether it will form a tumor, how big it is, a kind of thing. So a lot many things can be done using AI. So there are many other applications. I will not go into all those things. Then like prediction of diabetic retinopathy. Okay, so those who are having diabetes or who are having high blood sugar, what happens normally, slowly and gradually they go towards blindness, right? Now how to stop that, okay, and how to detect that at the right time, because if it is detected at a very later stage, then definitely you cannot stop it, neither you can cure it. So with AI, okay, just by taking a scan of your retina, okay, it can identify whether a person, okay, is developing diabetic retinopathy or not, and if he or she is developing, so how to stop that in a very early stage. Similarly, Google has one algorithm, okay, which was initially developed for games, but later on now it is for many of the what you call medical pathology or diagnostic kind of things. Like just by taking a image of your eye or your retina or the back of your eye, basically, they can identify whether somebody has a probability of developing any kind of cardiac disease, heart disease. And somebody having a cardiac events, see the beating of the heart, okay, asymmetric. Okay? It's called in a symmetric manner. In fact, the first veins of the nerve, those getting are actually a nasty rise. Right? And while it's happening in that way, then with the AI algorithm, we can detect that kind of heart disease and actually understand what is going on. So this is all medicine on enzyme as well detection and all other things already, but go into some interesting things like treatment is very very important. Like normally what we we all take almost similar medicines for every, right? So maybe it be any lifestyle diseases like uh, hypertension or we take similar kind of medicine. Our body will be completely different. Okay, how can I have a personalized and distance, which is like your cells that react to a different kind of medicine. To get into a stage where it is the personal, you can actually are we able to hear me? Can somebody
Yes, yes.
yes, yeah. So this should be I'm already I'll speak, but
The sound quality is very bad.
so it is from my side.
Yes, which is we'll check.
Okay. So my connection now is looking quite good, but still if you want me to go with different connection. Quite strong now because I have already changed it to a different network. Okay, so so I was discussing about the personalized treatment, okay, which is very very precision medicine. This is called precision medicine. Similarly, any kind of diagnostic or medical errors, okay, you can detect using artificial intelligence. Now there is an algorithm developed. In fact, I have also worked on one algorithm wherein you can detect any kind of pneumonia, okay, at a very very early stage, just by putting that X-ray into that algorithm. If you process that X-ray into the algorithm can take whether there has been a pneumonial development in the lung or not. Okay, and these are very very easy. I mean, these are not very complicated kind of algorithm. Very easy algorithm using computer vision, right? So some of the algorithms that you can use to do that. So these are some of the benefits which are being brought into the medical arena by artificial intelligence. Okay, and so this was one this thing in Instagram in 2014, I think. Okay, so they have released one algorithm for a couple of days, and then they took it back. Wherein just if you upload a photograph of yours, okay, by analyzing that photograph, it can tell whether you are going through some kind of a depression or not, okay, or how happy you are. So that kind of a detection or that kind of a prediction also can be done using AI algorithms, right? Similarly for drug discovery, so many of you probably already aware of drug discovery, right? So drug discovery is a huge lengthy process because it starts with probably thousands of molecules, okay, and then you'll do a lot of clinical what do you call validations or clinical studies, and in that clinical studies they will probably come up with so there is a 95% chances of most of the molecules that we have taken for the sampling will not be able to qualify, okay, for the next level of trials, right? So till the point it comes to animal trial or human trial, so it becomes very very time consuming, and also the percentage of success becomes very very less, right? So For that, now what we can do is using artificial intelligence and simulation, actually this entire clinical trial process can be shortened into only a couple of months. So normally it takes around 15 to 20 years. So that's why, I mean, you'll see for any kind of physical ailments, okay, the drug that we get into the market, okay, so probably we'll be hearing the already researches are going on, but it takes around 15 to 20 years to come into the market, right? So, but with this kind of a technique today, you can see the drugs are coming in a very faster manner, okay, and many of the pharma companies are already been started using this kind of techniques, okay, for drug discovery. And similar thing you can see in the what do you call COVID vaccine also, right? So a vaccine used to take some 15, 20 years. Now we have got the vaccine in 1.5 years, right? So this is, so again, AI is working in the background, right? So many of the AI applications are there. So clinical pathology, I'll not go into that. So this is one hospital in China. So wherein most of the things, okay, are being done by AI algorithms, right? So starting from checking all your diagnostic reports and all other things, that the final what do you call the final consultation actually goes to the doctor. So before you actually go to the doctor, everything has been done, and doctor already gets a bird eye view of the different parameters of your different health parameters of yours, and he can take a very precise kind of a decision and precise kind of a prescription he can provide to you. Okay, so this is one example of many of the things are being automated through artificial intelligence. Similarly, in travel and tourism, there are a lot of applications like identity tunnels, their facial recognition. So now, if you want to board into your airport, you need not have to in your flight. You need not have to show your boarding pass, or if you want to check in your bags, okay, you need not have to show your boarding pass or something like that. So it will be automatically, face detection will be there, and through face detection, they will identify you. They will compare your photograph with your passport photograph or the visa photograph that you have, and automatically allow you to check in your bag or board into your flight. Okay, so there is no manual checking, and Delta Airlines and all have already started implementing those. Okay, similarly, in Europe, okay, in some of the countries, in fact, I mean, before boarding into a train, okay, you can see in your mobile app, okay, where there is a possibility of getting a seat in which particular pillar or in which particular bogie. Okay, so that facilities are now being there, and it is all kind of using AI algorithms behind the scenes. In manufacturing, all the automations that have been done in the manufacturing units, okay, normally we call it industrial automation, so, or industrial robotics. So here all the robotic hands are being used for doing any kind of activities. In farming and agriculture, now drones are used tremendously. So everywhere you will see drones are being using. In traffic management, so it is not only management of the traffic, actually you can do traffic prediction. Okay, so probably in Mumbai, in Nariman points, okay, 6 p.m. on Saturday, what is going to be the traffic condition? Okay, whether it is going to be huge traffic and congestion, or it will be like medium kind of a traffic, or what is the kind of traffic that is going to happen? So looking into different parameters, okay, from it could be data from the satellite, it could be data from the actual traffic signals that are coming, and also the CCTV footage from different traffic signals. If we analyze those data, we can actually do traffic management as well as traffic prediction, right? So that is possible. So similarly for education, there are a lot of things in games. Okay, so most of the games today you play are being powered by AI. Okay, so a lot of things are there. So I'm not going to the slides. In customer care, it is like that. So after you purchase something probably in a store, okay, when you come out from that store or that section of the store, just by doing your facial analytics, they can identify whether you are a happy customer or you are not satisfied or you are a neutral customer. So those kind of things can be detected very, very easily nowadays. Okay, and also very interesting use cases like you see in Lens card, right? So you can actually see how a particular lens or a spectacle will actually fit into your face, right? So the similar things are now done by the jewelry stores. Okay, in the jewelry stores, if you want to try out some costly jewelry, so probably they will not allow you to just try it out physically, right? So there is a mechanism wherein using AI and virtual reality, VR, AR, VR techniques, okay, you can essentially uh, find out, right, how that particular ring or how that particular necklace will look into your hand or into your neck, right? So those are all been possible using AI and of course other subsidiary technologies. Okay, as I told you, AR, VR, and all those things. And probably nowadays metaverse is a very hot thing, right? So anything and everything is now going into metaverse. Okay, so metaverse is kind of a virtual universe. Okay, so it is going to be the biggest marketplace and biggest place wherein you can showcase your products, your services, or your this thing. This is a completely interactive and immersive kind of experience that metaverse is giving. And this metaverse is also powered by a lot many things are powered by artificial intelligence. Similarly, in banking and finance, okay, so banking and finance, I'll go later on. Cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a very, very important thing nowadays because what happens, like more and more IoT devices are there, and you are using your mobile phone, your laptop. We are doing everything, including our bank transaction, buying anything, okay, insurance, everything we are doing on our mobile phones or on our laptops. So the hackers, okay, or the criminals, cyber criminals, they are getting more and more opportunities to land their attack, okay, into this ecosystem. And it is not only true for the individuals, but also true for the enterprises. The enterprises who are essentially trying to build a very robust kind of infrastructure, okay, wherein actually the intruders or this cyber attackers cannot enter into this kind of things. Nowadays, it becomes very, very difficult, okay, because this cyber criminals are also evolving. Okay, so they are also trying to come up with newer and newer techniques, right, to do the cyber attack and cyber this kind of activities. So how to stop that? So now all the cyber security tools, okay, which we see in the market, are being powered by artificial intelligence because it can learn from the data. It can learn from the past experience. It is almost like our human immune system. Okay, in human immune system, what happens? Like normally, thousands of virus attacks our immune system or our body on a day-to-day basis, right? But how our immune system comes to know, okay, that which are the attacks and what kind of a defense mechanism that body needs to put to fight with those kind of attacks. Okay, it is very, very difficult, right? But our immune system works in a very intelligent manner, right? And it understands which is the attack which is coming from inside, which is the attack which is coming from the outside, what kind of attack it is, or whether it is autoimmune kind of attack or any kind of external attack, and what is the severity of the attack. And accordingly, it gives, it's actually puts different kind of defense mechanisms which are available in our immune system. So same concept goes here in the cyber security. That's why we call it enterprise immune system, okay, wherein the application is built in such a way that it can understand the behavior of the user, behavior of the different tools or different assets that you are using in your ecosystem, whether it is a laptop, or it is a printer or a mobile phone, or your employees are using, or from outside, what kind of a network connections are coming into your server. Okay, is there any kind of anomalies that are happening in your network or coming into your server? It can detect and it can immediately take some kind of a auto healing actions. Okay, so wherein probably it can automatically start cutting those malicious connections, right? So this is very, very important. And because many a times the cyber attackers will land the attack in such a way that probably your administrators will not get a time to react to that kind of attack. Okay, but here in this case, like it is it is kind of auto healing. It can automatically cut those kind of connections and automatically stop those kind of connections. Similarly, on the cybersecurity area, okay, in cybersecurity there are many applications here. So the entire cybersecurity space landscapes can be made very intelligent using lot many AI tools and techniques, right? So that starting from your citizen-centric apps, okay, wherein you can inform the citizens with different things that are happening in the city, whether the traffic condition or weather condition or any kind of things. If there is any fire at some place or any kind of water blockage or any kind of flood affecting any parts of the city. So all those things can easily be managed with AI algorithms, right? But apart from that, also there are a lot of opportunities for optimization. So you can actually do a lot of optimization in terms of saving water, saving electricity, saving other things, okay, in your smart city by using a lot of analytics and AI algorithms. Now I'll quickly come to banking and finance, AI in banking and finance, and here we'll be discussing more on the banking and finance part of it. Now my audio quality is better, or still you are having some problem?
No, sir, it's fine now.
It's fine, right? Okay, fine.
Yes.
Thank you for confirming. So now coming to banking and finance, okay, so it is very important because this is an area I think the adoption of AI is tremendous. Okay, it is happening, and also it will be happening in coming future. So now what analysts means these are the analysts actually who does the market research, and they gives their opinion about the adoption of AI into different industries. Like what are their views on that? So what Gartner says, the chatbot driven AI, okay, is hot, and it is also going to be hotter in coming days, and that we can understand, right? So any kind of chatbots or virtual assistants, okay, whether it is like Alexa, Google Home, Siri, or any kind of voice-based devices or chatbots, these are actually transforming many industries, and these are again evolving at a very rapid pace, right? Very rapid pace, because the reason being, the heart of any chatbot or virtual assistant is basically something called NLP engine. NLP is natural language processing, okay, engine. So which can actually understand our language, right? So there is something called NLG, okay, natural language generation, and another thing is called NLU, natural language understanding. So when we do interact with the machine in a normal human language, okay, these NLP engines are very important to process that information and understand what exactly the user or the human is talking about, so that it can take accordingly, it can answer, or it can take accordingly it can take action into that, right? So Gartner says that this is going to be a very what do you call it? This field is going to get a lot of traction in coming years also. Second, what Gartner says, the embedded artificial intelligence will become a differentiating factors in banking and finance. Okay, so what is now we need to understand what is embedded artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence applications can be built isolated, right? But when we talk about embedded artificial intelligence, it is like how we can embed artificial intelligence elements into different enterprise systems to make it more intelligent. Okay, so suppose for example, in my bank, I have got a banking system, core banking system, or a loan system. Now, how I can make my core banking system much more intelligent by embedding some machine learning algorithm into that, right? So that is true. Then it is also, Forrester says that intelligent data driven business will be a leading global segment. So here, essentially, what it is saying is, because AI is fully dependent on data, right? Without data, AI cannot do anything. Okay? Because AI algorithm will learn from the data. And nowadays it says data is the new oil, right? Or it is data, if you have a lot of data, it is like a gold mine you have, right? Because you can bring a lot of insights from your data. And these insights are very valuable insights, okay, using AI algorithms. So this business is going to grow. And sector-wise, like BFSI sector, banking and finance sector, healthcare sector, transportation, manufacturing. These are some of the factors which are the adoption rate of artificial intelligence is the highest in this sector. So that's what this slide says. Okay. Now, people may think like how artificial intelligence is important in a field like banking. Because this is the question I a lot many times I encounter. Okay, and people used to ask me like, what is the need of artificial intelligence into bank? So now we need to understand there are two reasons. Number one is banking and finance is a data intensive business. So data intensive business in the sense we are mainly dealing with data. Okay, and also we are generating a huge amount of data. And whoever in this field who is into data intensive business, they will have to adopt a technology like AI. Okay, either today or tomorrow. And if they avoid or if they ignore AI, then probably tomorrow they will not be there in the competition. They cannot be. Because what happens, like AI can provide intelligent predictions and recommendations, okay, using your data. Okay, and which is very, very essential today for any banks or financial services to sustain in the competition, because they have got their competitors, right? So if their competitors are using AI and they are getting that intelligence out of that data, and a particular bank, okay, they think that no, we are not going to use AI, we don't require AI or something like that. So they will be extinguished from the market, from the competition. Okay, because the other banks will who has used this kind of or who has been using this kind of technology will be able to smash their customers out. Okay, and at one point of time they will see they are completely out from the competition. So it is very, very essential for banking and finance industry to adopt the intelligent technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning. Second reason is there is an advantage for the bank, right? So banks knows their customer much more intimately than any other business. So and I think you all guys you will agree to me, right? Because banks are having your financial data, right? And they are having your financial information. So now with this financial information, they can do very, very personalized, okay, and customized recommendation of their products and services to you, okay, and which we all want or require, right? Because nowadays, if you are getting a very, very generic kind of offer in your SMS or in your email or in your WhatsApp, you don't like it, right? Because it's a generic kind of a thing that may not be suitable for your requirement or your need. But if you are getting a recommendation which is very, very personalized and which is very, very specific to your requirement, then you feel good, okay? And the possibilities of buying that product or services becomes much more higher, right? And but to do that, it is very, very important that banks should churn out your information, okay? Whether it could be your demographic information, it could be your transactional information, or it could be your information about your financial status or your socio-economic status, and also your current need. Okay, then only they will be able to recommend you a very, very personalized kind of a product. Correct? So these are two major reasons why banks and financial institutions are essentially going towards AI. And today, if you look at, most of the banks are embracing this kind of a technology. So even in India. So now these are some of the key technological areas, okay, wherein the implementation of artificial intelligence and different other technologies happening in the banking industry. So big data is very, very important, because without big data, I mean, AI cannot perform to its best, right? So you require a distributed data system like a Hadoop, okay, wherein you can store huge amount of data, you can process huge amount of data, kind of data. Similarly, AI, ML, DL, NLP, so artificial intelligence, machine learning. So I think you guys are aware of what is how the technological arena of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is an umbrella term, right? So you can think it is a superset. Under artificial intelligence, there is different subverticals. So the main subvertical is the machine learning, right? Wherein actually the machine can learn, or the algorithm can learn from your data. Now, under machine learning, there is a sub-vertical which is called deep learning, okay, which is again, or neural networks, you can say, which is again inspired from how our human brain works, right? So this is, I can give you an example. So probably I can discuss that if you guys are interested how deep learning works. And also there are other things like robotic process automation. The nowadays cryptocurrency and a lot of other things are also coming into play. But the interesting part is the machine learning. Machine learnings are basically mathematical models, okay, or you can say statistical models also. So here, like if you train those models with your previous data, it can understand the intelligence that has been hidden inside your data, right? So it can take out that intelligence from that data, and it can prepare yourself or train itself according to that intelligence. And from next time onwards, if you give some data to it, it can process that data with that intelligence. Okay, so that is the beauty of the machine learning models. But machine learning models are all mathematical models. So if you understand mathematics, if you understand statistics well, then definitely you will be able to understand the interior or the working of the machine learning models. But now the deep learning or the neural networks are completely a different ballgame altogether, right? And the height that you see artificial intelligence has got is basically because of the deep learning or the neural networks. So I can give you a small example, so probably it will clear a lot of your doubts how deep learning works or how neural network works. So take an example, how we see any object or any person or any thing, right? So if you take our visual system, what happens if we see an elephant? Okay, so light rays from the elephant comes into our eyes. Okay, it goes to the retina. In the after retina, it goes to visual cortex. Okay, in retina, it is an inverted image. The image becomes inverted, and then it goes to our visual cortex. In the visual cortex, what happens? The light rays are actually converted into electrical signals. Okay, and then it falls into different layers of neurons. Okay, now neurons are a very special type of in our brain. Okay, so this is the center of cognition or the center of intelligence that we have. Okay, so these are nothing but the neurons are our center of cognition, and there are around 100 billion neurons in our brain. Okay, so a developed brain has around 100 billion neurons. And these neurons are a special kind of cells. The specialty is, there are many specialties, but I will tell you some of the specialties. The potential difference between the neuron and the surrounding is minus 50 microvolt. Okay, so it is a little bit of charged, okay, negatively charged cell. And second thing is neuron works in a very amazing manner, which is called something called threshold principle. So whenever a electrical signal falls into a neuron, a process getting started, a process called protein synthesis that starts within the neuron. Okay, and the potential difference in the neuron actually start rising. And when it crosses a threshold limit, what it does, the neuron fires that electrical signal to the next neuron, which is attached to it through something called synapse. So it is kind of a wire or a wire-like pathway from one neuron to another neuron. Okay. So now what happens when this electrical signal from an object, okay, which falls into the layer of neuron? So this process starts. The protein synthesis actually starts happening, and the potential difference starts getting increased. And if the potential difference is up to that threshold limit, if it crosses that threshold limit, it fires that neuron electrical signal to the other neuron. In that way, it crosses across millions of layers of neurons. And ultimately, it goes into a layer wherein the decision is made. Decision in the sense, a elastic image of that object has been made, right? So for example, a child, okay, so for the first time in his life, he's looking at an elephant, okay? So the same thing happens when he's looking at that elephant, the light rays from the elephant comes into his eyes, okay, it goes to the visual cortex, through retina, it goes to the visual cortex. In the visual cortex, it is actually converted into electrical signals. And that electrical signal falls into the first layer of neuron. In the first layer of neuron, okay, the strong signals will cross to the second layer because it will create a lot of potential difference, and it will automatically fire that electrical signal to the next layer and next layer, like billions of layers. Okay, and then at the end, an elastic image of that elephant will be created in the brain, back of the brain of the child. Right now, the child doesn't know what is this. The elastic image is created because he's looking at it for the first time. So probably somebody standing beside him, his father or mother, he said, "Mom, what is this?" His mom says, "See, this is an elephant." Now what happens in the child's brain? This elastic image has been tagged as elephant. Okay, so now it has got a name to that. Now, if the same thing happens the next day, child sees the elephant again. This time the same phenomena happens, but now nobody needs to tell him that this is an elephant, because this image is already been stored in the back of his mind, right? And with that elephant tag, so it can automatically identify. He himself will tell, "See dad," or "See mom, this is an elephant," right? So the same phenomena, what I have described just now, we are trying to replicate it in semiconductor in a programmatic manner, which is called artificial neural network. So here also, what we are doing, we are creating neurons programmatically. We are passing input data. It could be input data, could be an image. Okay, we have got some filters there. It will process that filter. We also have got that threshold mechanism, which is called activation function. So the nature of the activation function is, if a particular value goes beyond a particular threshold limit, it will fire it to the next layer of neuron. Right? So same thing we are doing in an artificial way inside the semiconductor in a programmatic manner is called artificial neural network. And this is a very, 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 very powerful tool. So some of the artificial neural networks, which is trained with lot many images and lot many videos or data, is much more intelligent than human. Okay, even human cannot detect those kind of images, okay, which are probably at very acute angle and very low light kind of thing, but a neural network can identify that. Similarly, it goes to the cancer detection. It is nothing but a neural network. Okay, it can detect that cancer much more in the early stage than human can do. Okay, because it's already been trained. The same goes for any kind of other use cases that I have shown. So artificial neural network is kind of a blessing to the humanity. Okay, with artificial neural network, lot many things are happening today. Okay, the very classic example is your face detection, right? So whenever you upload any kind of photograph in Facebook, it automatically says like whether you want to tag it to this person or not. I don't know whether this facility is there or not, but actually a couple of years back it was there. So there's nothing but they are using neural network. The Google search that you are doing, okay, it is also a special type of neural network. Of course, it is not CNN, convolutional neural network, which I told you, the visual kind of thing, because this applies mostly for the image detection, image classification, object detection kind of things. But another type of neural network called recurrent neural network. Okay, and one variant of recurrent neural network called long short-term memory, or LSTM, okay, is being used in your Google search and your Google Translate. Okay, so today Google Translate can do translation into one language to another language better than a human. Okay, literally better than a human, right? Sometimes, of course, it fails sometimes. Sometimes it gives some kind of a weird translation, but it can do. How? Because this neural network is learning. Okay, whenever you are searching, whenever we are doing some translate, whenever somebody is doing conversation, it is continuously learning from the billions of sounds, the billions of interactions that is happening on the Google, right? Not only Google website, but in your Google Home or in your mobile devices, because this Android is nothing but Google's product, right? So these things are happening. So this is the beauty of artificial neural network, and whatever hype or the name of AI that you are seeing today is not because of the conventional or the traditional machine learning models, okay, mathematical models. No, not because of that, but because of the neural networks of the deep learning, because deep learning is solving many critical problems which a human cannot solve. I hope you understood what is neural network and how it works. Okay, so I don't know how much time is left. I think 15 minutes, right, approximately. So I will discuss a little bit on, just give me 1 second. So I'll discuss a little bit on some of the use cases of banking and finance, and then probably I can open the floor for any kind of questions, kind of thing. So these are some known use cases in banking and finance. Okay, so because I'm from banking and finance, almost entire my life I have been working for different banking customers or finance customers, and whatever AI applications I have applied mostly goes for the banking and finance. Of course, little bit on the healthcare and medicine also. So I understand this thing. This is my strength. So I will discuss more on this. So a classic example or classic use case or application of artificial intelligence into banking and finance is fraud detection. Okay, so like millions of transactions are happening. Okay, so you are doing credit card transaction, debit card transaction, millions of transactions are happening. Now, out of those millions of transactions, probably 1 or 2 transactions are fraudulent transactions. Some fraud activities are happening. Okay, someone is doing some kind of a fraud. How to identify those kind of transactions? It is very difficult to do it in a conventional way, in a rule-based manner, because this fraudsters, as I told you, the criminals, they are also brilliant minds, like they are also scientists. Okay? So they also understand, and they also understand the security loopholes that you have. Okay, or what kind of loopholes, application loopholes, and they try to make use of those, right? So now you need an adaptive system. Adaptive system means the system which can adapt to the situation or which can learn from the situation. So that kind of adaptive system can be built using machine learning models. So machine learning is pretty good, okay, brilliant about those kind of applications. It can understand the pattern from the data, and wherever it sees a pattern which is not common, it will automatically identify. For example, I'll give you an example. So you as a person, okay, every day you are, every month you are doing some standard transactions. So every month, first of your second of every month, your home EMI is deducted from your account. Then you pay your credit card bill. Okay, 5th of your month you send some money to your parents. Okay, probably 6th or 7th of your month you send some money to your what do you call, a brother or sister, okay? And like that. Okay, you do some shopping or something like that. But suddenly, okay, at one evening, at say probably or 1 a.m. in the morning, late a.m., you start sending some money to Russia or Ukraine, okay, or somewhere in the African countries. Automatically, the machine learning will detect. Okay, so this is not a natural transaction, right? But somebody who is always sending money to Russia, probably here, there, for business purpose, for them, it is a normal kind of thing. So machine learning model understands this small difference, okay, and it can automatically highlight, and it can stop the transaction and do further verification. Probably you will get an automated call. Hey, you have started a transaction like that. Would you approve it? If you say yes or approve it, then it will approve it. Okay. So this is the kind of this. I'm giving you a very raw example, but there are very minute things it does. It can actually see thousands of data parameters and it can take action. Okay. Similarly, credit risk assessment. So this fraudulent area is a versatile area. There are various types of frauds. Okay, and in each type of fraud, machine learning is the best solution. Okay. Now another classic example in banking and finance is credit risk assessment. I think probably many people are aware of that. Now, credit risk assessment is before you give a loan or a credit to anybody or any business or any enterprise, okay, you want to do some kind of a checks and balances to see whether how much loan amount I can give it to this person or to this business. Okay, if I give him, what kind of a interest rate I need to charge, or what kind of a terms and condition I need to put, or what could be the tenure of that this thing. Okay, because each bank has their own risk appetite. Okay, now how to know that? Okay, whether Utpal Chakraborty is eligible for a loan or not. Okay, if yes, then how much, for what tenure, or what interest rate, what kind of, so this parameter. So now what it will do is it will collect some of your data. It will collect some of your demographic data. Demographic data means your name, where you stay, whether you have a home or not, what your parents are doing, this, that, and all those things, right? It will also collect some financial data, whether you are doing a job, whether you have a business, do you have an asset, do you have your own home, okay, that kind of thing. Do you have a land, cultivation land, or something like that? Those kind of information also it will collect. It will also collect some of the transactional information, like whether you are paying your existing credit card bill on time or not. Okay, whether you have taken some other loan and you have paid the loan properly or not. Are you paying the EMIs on time or not? Whether you are paying your mobile bills also on timely or not. No. Do you have any kind of what do you call black? Not black. I mean, what is that called? I forgot that name. I mean, it's kind of a red mark. Okay, on your transactional history kind of thing. It will look into all those parameters, and then only it will give a score. Okay, which now these scores are given by some authorities also, like CIBIL is giving CIBIL score, or Experian is giving, but still then banks has their own system to do this kind of scoring. And this can be done fantastically by machine learning model, because it can look into hundreds of parameters. Okay, and then it can give. I will give an example. In China, you can get a loan, okay, short-term loan, instant loan, without any documentation, nothing. They don't require any kind of documentation from you. Okay, it is only giving you that loan on the basis of your mobile uses. Okay, so from your mobile, they collect all kind of parameters, all kind of data. Okay, so when you are getting salary, when you are giving your EMI, what kind of shopping you are doing, where you are investing your money, this and all those things, everything it knows. Okay, it even knows, okay, what is your mobile brand, okay, whether is it Android or iOS, okay, or what it is Samsung, or it is Apple phone, what a kind of using. It also knows how much average battery life, okay, you are always carrying, whether you are running out of battery, or you are always charged with the battery. Everything it collects. Okay, and all the parameters are being put to consider whether you are eligible for loan, and if you are eligible for how much loan, what loan, and all those things. So your credit worthiness has been judged by all the factors. So probably these factors are contributing very less, but this is also factoring, because if you are a person always running out of battery, okay, and searching for a charging point here and there, it shows that you are not a very good planner, right? Or probably you are not a very systematic kind of a person, right? So this is also contributing something. If you are an iOS user, of course, it shows like you are brand conscious, okay, and you have got enough money to afford for that kind of a thing. So probably these are very, very small factors, but these factors are also contributing to the final decision what is making, right? So this is the power of machine learning. The high-speed trading, you see, like most of the tradings are now happening using AI-powered kind of thing. Predictions and forecasting engines are also part of it. Cybersecurity I talked about. Okay? Cybersecurity today is a trillion-dollar business. Okay, and people are not doing cyber crime for fun. It is a business. It's a huge industry itself, right? So probably you have heard. Okay, in Ukraine only. Okay, I think 2015 it happened. A cyber criminal from Russia took the control of their control of a household electric meter, smart meter. Okay, and from there, it landed the attack on a electric plant. Okay, and the half of the Ukraine city was blackout. for a couple of hours. Okay, so from a household smart meter, it can black out the half of the city, one city. So that kind of attack. So, and also I have heard in Europe only, so some people are published. So they have landed attack in a hospital, okay, by drone. Like the drone was landed in another building near to that, and with that they have intercepted the network, okay, Wi-Fi network of that hospital, and they took control of the patient monitoring device. Okay, so patient monitoring devices are normally in big hospitals, no, where there is less staff, so there used to be patient monitoring device. Okay, so mostly in Europe you will see this monitoring device, so it can monitor the patient, okay, at all the time, and if the patient is feeling uncomfortable or kind of thing, it will automatically notify the healthcare nurse or whoever it is there, right? So it took the control from the drone. It intercepted the hospital private network, right, Wi-Fi network, and took the control of the patient monitoring system. So there was some security lapse or security loopholes in that system. And with that, it took control of the entire hospital, and it was threatening that if you don't pay this much ransom, this is my money, okay, then I will like jeopardize your entire network, and I'll completely jeopardize your all equipments and all other things, and patient will will die, whoever there in a ventilator support or some kind of a machinery support. So that kind of attacks are happening today. Okay, so it is very, very serious. So cyber security is a very, very serious matter. So more and more we are progressing with technology. We should also see how we protect our asset, how we protect ourselves from this kind of criminals, because these criminals are working from their paradise, okay, which is called dark web, okay, or dark net. Probably people are aware of that, right? So this is a notorious place, okay, where all the illegal things are happening. Okay, so it can, and many normal people are also getting affected. Okay, so many this kind of things are happening. Now, smart wallet is a payment mechanism. So AI has made payments invisible. Okay, so now you will not be able to see payments tomorrow. Today you can see payments. So whenever you are buying, it's just a click and you put your MPIN, okay, and your transaction is gone. So, and you have got multiple transaction methods. You can do UPI, you can do NEFT, you can do Google Pay, you can do other things. So all your payment things are integrated in whenever you do something, whether you want to buy a coffee or you want to buy some potato from the street shop, everywhere, all that. So payments is integrated within the customer journey, and tomorrow probably you will not have to do any kind of MPIN or UPI payment or any kind of Paytm payment kind of things. Okay, so it knows it is your mobile phone and you are buying from there and you are near that shop. Okay, probably you need not have to scan also. You just tap your mobile phone somewhere. Like there are some credit cards wherein you can just tap and do, and transactions will happen and your payments will happen. And this is powered by AI. Okay, without AI, it is not possible. So the payments is going to be actually a seamless payment. Okay, and you need not, as a customer, you need not have to even worry about the payments. Okay, so from which account you will set your preference from which accounts your payment can happen, because probably you have got ICICI account, Yes Bank account, SBI account, or kind of thing, where from it should go. Okay, you can preference that it will automatically happen there. Anti-money laundering. Anti-money laundering is also a very big challenge for financial institutions, because here what happens, like illegitimate wealth or illegal money is entering into a banking system. So, and what happens, so they do it in a very intelligent way. So probably there is some company in their account, some illegal money is entered as if it is illegal money. And then this money is going to different accounts here and there. And ultimately it is going cross-border to different countries. For what? For drug trafficking, okay? For illegal weapon purchase, okay? Criminal activities, or human trafficking, okay? Or terrorist funding. Okay, so many people are funding to the terrorists, right? So many countries, many people, many organizations are funding terrorists. So all these things are happening in such a way using your legitimate banking or finance ecosystem, but everything happens in front of your eyes, but you cannot do anything because it is not visible. they do it in a so intelligent manner. Okay, so there will be some company, money will come to that company, it will go to some account. So as a bank, it is like, so they are doing some transaction or some business or something like that. But ultimately, they are using your banking system or financial system to convert their illegal money into a legal money, and then also and again use it for illegal purpose, for drug, this, that, and all those things. Now, how do you stop this? You cannot stop this because anybody can, somebody from somewhere put that money and kind of thing. Now with AI, it can draw a network there. It can show where from the money is originating, where it is deposited, where it is going and going. It can literally, you can see the visual map in front of your eyes, and you can easily detect that, hey, see, this money is coming from here, and again going from here and going from this thing and going into a country like this, okay, which is already a suspicious country. Okay, so you can automatically detect that and also stop that at any point of time. And also now, because of AI and all those things, the regulatory matters between different countries are becoming very, very smooth. Okay, and because of that, its cross-border transactions are very, very transparent and smooth nowadays. What used to happen, okay, 3-4 years back, if you want to send money or get money from somebody who is abroad, right? So you have to go to, what is that called? What is that? I forgot the name of that. So there, you cannot do it through normal bank. Okay, so it is now. It is not like that. You need not have to go to from your ICICI account only or for your SBI account only. You can send wherever you want to send your money. So cross-border transactions has become very, very smooth and seamless, right? Because of this AI and all those things, because the regulatory matters, the conversions, because you need to convert the currency, right? And all those things are all seamless. Whatever tax, this, that, and all those things has been taken care of from the background, and including the security matters. Right? Now there are robo advisors. Robo advisors are likely advisors. So if you are a high net worth customer, okay, so you have got a lot of money, okay, and you want to put that money into different portfolios, and you want to see which portfolios my money will actually grow, right? So here, normally what used to happen traditionally there used to be 30-40 years experience, old guy, okay, advisor who has got a lot of experience, okay, who reads 10 newspapers every day, okay, he used to guide financial newspapers every day, who used to guide you, okay, how to invest, where your money will grow, kind of thing. Now it's not like that. You have got robo advisors powered by AI. It will not only read 10 newspapers, okay, it can read 100 newspapers. Also, it can look into your all market data, okay, it can look into news, it can look into political news, it can look into weather news, it can look into everything, okay, and then accumulating all those things, it can give you a right advice. So who is better? AI is better or human is better? Because it has access to multiple data sets. Okay, more than here, because human brain has a limitation, right? One person can read 10 newspapers probably in the morning, and he can recommend with his whatever calculation. Yeah, he's also doing some calculation in his head. Okay, but AI can do it better. It can get into hundreds of data sources, hundreds of this thing, and do calculation and can recommend you, hey, these are the portfolios where you can invest, right? So, and there are many other things here. I'll not go into that. And okay, last slide. Okay, I have got many slides actually, and it will go 2-3 hours. So I don't want to go into that long because again, you have got time constraint. Last slide I'll discuss here, and then I'll open the floor for any kind of questions. So some new kind of very attractive applications are coming into the banking space. Okay, it is coming already. I have also developed some of them. So and these are again using computer vision kind of technology. So now, how you can actually safeguard your ATM, okay, with some kind of AI system. So in your ATM, it could happen some human intrusion, some animal intrusion, because many of the villages, like even cows, buffaloes, dogs used to go inside the ATM, this thing, right? Or somebody trying to destroy your ATM. Okay, so in many places we have seen a couple of years back. Okay, so they have taken away the ATM, okay, and then cut through the ATM, and after say there is no cash. Okay, so they were thinking that the cash used to be there, a lot of cash used to be there in the ATM machine. Or somebody used to, what the criminals used to do, try to fight with your security guard, okay, or they try to destroy your ATM, or somebody is carrying some kind of a weapon, some gun kind of thing. How I can detect those kind of incidents and I can take a appropriate action, okay, immediately if such kind of incidents happen. So now each ATM is guarded by a CCTV camera, but CCTV camera can do nothing, right, except for recording and showing it in a TV. Okay, so if your bank people sitting at headquarters 24/7, they are watching those kind of things and they can take immediate action, and that too through naked eyes. Probably many of the things you will not be able to understand, right? Whether a person is carrying a gun or something like that, or it is his wallet, okay, or it is an umbrella, a small umbrella. Nobody knows, right? So now with CCTV camera and real-time AI algorithm, what you can do is you can do that object detection, and it can automatically identify whether there is an animal where an animal has entered, a cow has entered into the ATM. Now, once it enters, automatically it detects and sends a notification to the to your security, right? If somebody is carrying any kind of rifle or any kind of gun, okay, automatically it detects and it tells, hey, there is a danger. Some people have. If a policeman, I mean, it could be a policeman also. If policeman wants to withdraw money, so definitely his gun will be there with him, right? But this notification will go. Definitely, so that they can see, they can look at, and if there is some kind of a undue incident that is happening inside your ATM or in your locker or in your branch, you can automatically take some actions, because every ATM is having a siren, right? So they can play that siren. It's a very huge, very loud siren. Okay. And I think 1 kilometer, all people will come out. So every ATM has that. They can play the siren, or they can immediately notify the police authority, nearby police authority, so that they can come and they can do something. Okay, if somebody is trying to fight with your security guard or destroy your ATM. So this is called smart identity management and identification kind of a technique. And these techniques are very good. And going one step further, there are some algorithms which can actually detect your facial stress. Okay. And it can tell whether you are trying to do some kind of a fraudulent activity in the ATM or not. Okay? Because your ATM is in front of your ATM, there is to be a camera. Okay, there is a camera. In that camera, it automatically detects your face, and with that AI algorithm, it can actually looking at the stress, because whenever you are doing some criminal activity, your stress level goes up, right? Probably a human will not be able to understand, but an algorithm is good enough to understand those kind of steps. Like we have seen, like happy, whether you are happy or not, whether you are sad or not, with your facial expression only it can tell. Similarly, it can tell also whether you are stressed.
Excuse me, sir. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but actually the meeting will automatically end in the next 10 minutes. So yeah. Can we please open the floor for questions?
Yes. I'm done with my this thing, so we can.
Okay. Okay. So the floor is open for questions. Anybody who has any questions, you can please type in or just ask.
Isha, I believe there are no questions. There is one. Will AI be used in agriculture sector in future? So this is a question. Will AI be used in agriculture sector in future?
It's already been used.
What role does it play? Should be rather apt.
Yeah, so it has already been used in many areas in agriculture. So I'll give you a couple of examples. First of all, is in other countries it has already been used, and in India also it is now used. So there are many applications, many. So I can go on telling one by one, but I will give you one or two examples. One is any kind of disease detection in the crop. Okay, so with the camera, or if you can take a photograph from your drone of a agricultural land, okay, where the agriculture, a paddy land, okay, so it is there. So analyzing that image, okay, you can identify whether some kind of a disease has already been attacked okay, in some portion of that crop, okay, and it can actually detect what kind of a disease also, okay, again using this computer vision techniques or deep learning algorithms, it can detect. So, and it has been already there, right? I mean, in many places they are already using drones for large sectors. So on a daily basis they will have drones, and the drones will take pictures, okay, and on a daily basis or a weekly basis they will analyze those things and will see whether some crop has already been uh, uh, caught by any kind of diseases, right? So that is number one. Now, the same case can go for whether some more water supply is required in some parts of the land or not. Okay, looking at the leaves and all those things, okay, that photograph, it can understand whether there is a there is less water in the soil, okay, and you can actually spray more water and more things there. So that is another use case in agriculture.
Perfect, sir. Perfect.
Correct.
Sir, on behalf of Avantika University, I just wanted to, before this meeting ends, I wanted to extend my gratitude towards you because you've given us quite some insight on the extent of AI which is being used across the industry and across the technologies and across the sector. So this properly serves the purpose. We host this event. The students can look up to you as a role model. I would urge all the students to be in touch with you over LinkedIn or somewhere, so that they can look up to you as a role model and take guidance from you in their upcoming future. And we hope to be associated with you in all our future events. Whenever there's some forum where we can have you as a guest, we would request you to kindly oblige us by your presence. So this has been a very enlightening session with the students. I thank you sincerely for coming here at Avantika and sparing your time and your expertise with our students. Thank you very much, sir. I hand over to Aisha to wrap this up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. The session was amazing. We got a lot of insight into AI, and we would love to interact with you further regarding the same.
Thank you
Hope
so
you
much.
have a great day.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for inviting me. And I wish all of you a bright future in your career, and hope to interact with all of you in the future. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir.